Hi there. We're doing something a little different today. We This is Chapter 2, Episode 2. This is after Trail Ridge Road experience, and I wanted to. I had a lot of things happen during that time, and it was a few weeks after Trail Ridge that my body felt inside my body felt like I had been shook and snow globed. Nothing really was making a lot of sense. I was still fearful. I was out of order. I was just out of order inside of me. So this chapter or this episode is explaining how things got back into order. And the best way I can describe this was my conscience called a board meeting. And that's what I'm calling this episode, is a board meeting. And when that happened, this was years and years ago, when that happened, I took notes in the meeting. And that's what I want to cover today, are the notes. So I filmed it in a conference room. I thought it was kind of fun to do it here because it really felt like I was in a conference room. And it was pretty serious stuff, right? So here goes the meeting notes. I'm going to spend some time reading because I actually did take good notes in this meeting versus notes that I've taken in my profession, not so good. But anyway, so here we go. I'm going to tell you how it's laid out. So Conscience calls a mandatory meeting with the department heads and wants to get the reactions to the new CEO that was hired. The new CEO is Jesus. Conscience makes a decision to tell them who the CEO is, and he's now in charge. And Conscience also says that he has full authority to speak for the mind. And the people that are attending this meeting is the department head and personality, the department head and ego, the department head and emotion, the department head and IT, the department head in finance, and the department head in spiritual. So the Conscience talks to them all and says, look, and I know everybody has concerns, but this arrangement, this agreement is permanent. And you don't really have to stick around if you don't want to you can quit if you want to, but I encourage you to stick around. So the department head of personality speaks first and says, fearfully, speaks to Conscience and IT, by the way, and says, please don't do a factory reset. I like some of the traits, but most of the traits, I guess you can delete. But I don't want to be somebody different. And Conscience says, we're not going to do a factory reset. The CEO will reveal your new identity soon. This is different from your behaviors, and you'll learn the difference between the two. Very interesting there. What? My behaviors aren't my identity? I thought my identity was linked to my behaviors. Interesting. So the next person that speaks up is ego. Now, ego, department head, ends up bringing the physical supervisor with him. Physical supervisor speaks up and says, hey, look at me. I got real big lifting weights. I worked real hard to get attention. Am I going to still look good and get the attention I need to survive? Of course, the ego and the physical supervisor had a good relationship, right? That's why I brought him to the meeting. Conscience says, yes, you will. get the attention you need to survive, but it'll be different than what you're used to. Learn to trust the new CEO, and he and his teachings will provide more attention than weights ever could. That was interesting. So emotions up next, department head. And he says, I only feel happy, sad, angry, and now a new feeling for me on the table is fear. Do you mean there's more feelings available than that? Because emotion hadn't felt anything but fear and happy, angry, sad, and that's it. And he says, is this why I'm crying all the time? It's because there's more feelings than that, and I don't know what they are. You remember I said in the last episode that there was a lot of crying going on. Conscience says, yes, there are many different feelings available to you, but they are all crunched together right now. As your relationship grows with the new CEO, your department will grow exponentially. Also, when you have private meetings with the CEO, you may cry a lot in those meetings, but it's perfectly normal. One day down the road, someone will call you emotionally intelligent. Isn't that something? Never thought that would ever happen. IT department steps up. I love what they say. 1.0 folder is minimized, and the only folder on the screen top now, and is the only folder on the screen top, on the desktop. So how do I organize the new operating system upgrade? All I see is a blank desktop with one folder in the corner that says 1.0. What do I do with this? Conscience says, that's great. Open a new 2.0 folder and give each department their own file, giving each department access to it, and keep it open on the desktop until further notice. I thought that was clever. Okay, the next one, department head that talks is finance. Finance says, we're running on a crappy budget. Is there any help coming? We've been sucking wind for a long time. Conscience says, yes. The CEO has a new documented business plan that is available now. There are some weird things in it, though. You'll learn at first, but things like you're going to learn to give away funds before you can make more. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense now, but it also sounds counterproductive. But the CEO knows what he's doing. Just do what you're told, and eventually you'll enjoy it. Okay, spiritual's next. Spiritual department head says, hey, I'm still recovering from the meeting on Trail Ridge Road. Are you sure this is the same guy in the staircase? Conscience. Yes, I'm sure. He has a lot to offer your department. Hang in there. I know the changes in your department are monumental. All the other departments will benefit from what you learn. Just take a step at a time and stay engaged. The CEO has big plans for your department. The conscience speaks again, and he's been all around the room. He sees their fear, and he tries to settle it down. The conscience says to everybody, just remember our meeting up on Trail Ridge Road. The CEO's in charge. Have your individual meetings with him. He has plans to convert us to the way we were created to be. And I hope that you will listen. Oh, and by the way, conscience says to everybody, don't think I don't have skin in the game, because I'm not the only voice in here anymore. And I think my voice is going to dissipate, and the CEO's voice is going to start taking over, and it worries me. I've never been like that before. And I have some fear too, departments. But if we hang together and we work together, these new changes, this new way to go, this 2.0 operating system download, upgrade, I'm not saying you got to trust it, but what I am saying is give the CEO a chance. Develop a relationship with the CEO. Express your anger, your fears, your discontent to him. And let's see what comes of this. And we will re-adjourn when we've been doing this for some time. And the conscience closes the meeting. Everybody's a little bit bewildered as they're walking out, but here's the takeaway, is there's law and order inside with all the departments. I think that's imperative to know, because the departments were all going in their own directions. Everybody was doing their own thing, and there was chaos. And the Marine was trying to keep the chaos at a minimum and keep law and order, and was failing at it. And we're starting to develop some insight here. And all of a sudden, we're not relying on conscience anymore to talk us through this. Now we're relying on the new CEO called Jesus. Thanks for being with me today. The episodes are coming. They're going to be kind of cool. We're just getting some order into them now. And that's what the board meeting was all about. So I so appreciate you being with me today. It's fun filming in a conference room. So we'll talk to you later.